In an interconnected world, safeguarding financial stability requires global cooperation. This has been the mission of the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision for 50 years. But why and how was the committee set up? In response to serious disturbances in currency and banking markets, central banks from the Group of 10 countries founded the committee in 1974. Its aim was to enhance financial stability by strengthening the regulation and supervision of banks and serving as a forum for information and cooperation on supervisory matters. Since its first meeting in 1975, the committee has expanded to include 45 authorities from 28 jurisdictions. This represents over 90% of banking system assets worldwide. In its early years, an important aim of the committee's work was to close gaps in international supervisory coverage. A first step in this direction was a set of principles, known as the Concordat, published in 1975. It set out recommendations on sharing responsibility for banks' foreign branches, subsidiaries and joint ventures between different supervisory authorities. The Concordat was the first global standard for the supervision of international banking groups and their cross-border establishments. With the foundations for supervision of internationally active banks laid, the committee looked to strengthen banks' shock-absorbing capacity by ensuring they could finance themselves with a minimum level of their own funds, or capital. Capital allows banks to absorb losses, and higher capital levels make banks safer. In the early 1980s, the Latin American debt crisis raised concerns about the deterioration of banks' capital. To halt this erosion, the Basel Committee published another global standard in 1988, Basel I. This called for banks to finance themselves with a minimum ratio of capital to risk-weighted assets of 8%. Together, the Concordat and Basel I were the foundation for today's main elements of the committee's work, the Basel Framework and core principles. For more information, visit bis.org/bcbs.